Hello and welcome to the Know Thyself Podcast. I'm Jenny Fiennes-Giles, creative soul, shamanic space holder and founder of Freedom Rising. This is a space for seekers, soul searchers and self-discoverers. Here we dive into the depths of mind, body and spirit to remember who we really are. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Know Thyself Podcast with me, Jenny Fiennes-Giles. Today I'm here with my friend Tom Harper of Dragonstone Bakes. I just wanted to do a little video to add to the start, just to say that this conversation that we've filmed and we're sharing today is actually an extension of conversations that we were having that day. So we spent the morning connecting and chatting, and having edited this video and replayed it back, I just felt like there needed to be something at the beginning just to sort of say about Tom and what's been going on in his life. Tom spent the last 2 years in Australia. He moved over there very spontaneously, met someone who he felt was the love of his life, and went and started a life over there. He has given up everything that he had here. He gave up his home, he gave up his dog, he gave up his life. About 6 weeks ago, his life changed dramatically. It was all taken away from him, and he has been going through what I would consider a real initiation. Of course, it is an absolutely horrific experience to go through, and so you can see when he's talking that it's still very raw, but the magic that is coming out of the conversation in the things that he's learning, the things that he's picking up on, the things that I have been aware of and that I'm sharing about my journey. It's just a real raw, honest, vulnerable conversation. And yeah, I just felt that I wanted to share ahead of time the backstory behind it. With that being said, please enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to a very special and very fancy episode of the Know Thyself podcast. Today I am joined with Tom Harper, and we have no idea what we're going to do, really, if we're brutally honest, right? And I think that is the theme for life that we're working with at the moment. Would you agree?
I think so.
Okay, so basically,
there's been a lot of discussion going on today, but
yeah.
Who knows where this might go?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that's coming to my mind is the threads that we've weaved in conversation over the last couple of weeks around the slowing down, patience, the perfection piece and not having to have it perfectly. And that pretty much sums up this experience of having multiple cameras from, multiple areas, and yeah, being able to just see what happens. So if you followed my podcast for a while, if you are a fan of me and what I talk about and what I share, you will know that I have been on a long journey of personal spiritual development, about knowing myself deeper, around the journey of life, and trying to give myself as much love and compassion as I can on this journey. And so Tom has been going through a little bit of a rough time, and he has found himself coming to a place in his life, hit midlife, sorry to say. And as is the cycles that we all seem to go through, I'm aware of the fact that when I turned 40, just the year before you, I had a pretty much a shitter of a year, actually. And I can see how that is happening for you. That just corresponds. It's not to say it's always going to be the case for everyone, but I know that these big milestone birthdays have big effects at times, that it can bring stuff up for us, even if it's just psychologically and emotionally, of all the things that we think we should have achieved by now, and it's just not the case, or maybe you've worked so hard to get somewhere and you get there and go, now what? Who knows? But what I'm aware of in our conversations, and since you've been back in the UK for the last sort of 5-6 weeks, is the themes that are running between both of our lives at the moment, and others that I'm aware of too, and how we are being guided to choose ourselves, to know ourselves, to understand ourselves even deeper than we ever have before, through initiations and cycles that actually seem to come around in stages. If you look into it, there's all sorts of reasons behind it as well, which maybe I could link to later. But that ultimately, I believe the goal of life is to know yourself further and to choose yourself, love yourself, and do all those pieces to really get to know yourself deeper and give yourself that compassion and that love and that kindness and care that perhaps we've been looking outside of ourselves for, or anything along those lines. So if you want to give a little bit of a backstory, a little brief, I can see your brain going, oh my god, right.
Where do you begin?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just what's been going on for you the last few weeks? What's been coming into your awareness with a Know Thyself theme?
Yeah, so I suppose like the biggest thing is the self-worth thing. That's definitely a huge area for me. And trying to understand the effort that I put in to please other people, maybe.
Ooh, the people pleaser.
Yeah. For what feel like legitimate, real reasons. But also maybe I've put people before myself, and it ties into this whole thing about once you lose something, who are you for you?
Yeah.
Like, who are you for yourself? Like, what is your purpose? That's a huge thing that's been coming in for me, is like finding my purpose again. And I think it's come through a few times. I think a lot of us probably go through that same kind of feeling, like, why, in a very existential state, like, why are we here? What is the meaning of life? But yeah, from a less, what's that film called? The life universe, like the secrets of the universe type thing, number 42, whatever.
Oh yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
The Hitchhiker's Guide. Less about that, more realistically, when we sort of lose our way a bit, and we're trying to find our way back to it. And it could be, you might have a job, you might be fine in your job and love that, and it could be somewhere else in your life. But for me, it's kind of finding that piece of finding a purpose whilst feeling useful for myself and fighting for survival, but not wanting to fight, just wanting peace in that. I think that's a huge part of what's coming through.
Yeah. Earlier on, we were out at a lovely coffee shop that we've not been to before. It was Grounded Coffee and Wellness over in, what is it, Griffithstown? Sebastopol?
Sebast.
It is Sebast. I get very confused. And they are
We live nowhere near it, I swear.
Nowhere near it. And they are an amazing place, charity, event space for focus on mental health and well-being. And so we popped in for coffee earlier. And one of the things that we were talking about when we were there that feels like it ties into the cycles theme that seems to be coming up right now, is you reflecting on, those pivotal ages, and, being a teenager and feeling the way you felt in a time when naturally society is saying, you as a teenager, you desperately just want to be like everyone else. If you stand out, like, it literally means being ostracized from everything, being outcast. And as a teenager, that is like far beyond what you want. Unlike now, where we're like, want to be like everyone else? Absolutely not. And so as a result of that experience, that I hope you don't mind me sharing, you potentially earmarked a really pivotal time in your life where things perhaps really activated this core belief for you that then I feel has cycled round a few times. So I'm of the belief that when we come up against these lessons, these triggers, and these frustrating things, that it's like a cycle. It can be a circle, it can just keep going round and you don't go anywhere. But I believe that when you're doing the work, such as you are and I am, that this circle becomes more of a spiral, and it's actually a cycle, and it goes down. You uncover different layers, and eventually you'll get somewhere, whether it goes up or down, whatever. Eventually you'll get somewhere that is actually, feeling peaceful and calm, and you've let the stuff go, and you're all zen. I don't know, something like that. Apparently that's the goal, who knows. And as a result of looking at this sort of like pivotal time and experience of the cycle of being a teenager and going through everything there, and seeing those beliefs that have come in and how they've played out throughout the rest of your time and life, that I'm just trying to think of how to say it, what it is. It's just reflecting on that, and there's something in it. There's something in that experience that you uncovered earlier that I think is going to be so relatable for others, that I resonated with what you were sharing. If anything's coming into you, please do just speak as well.
I think we're looking at it from how you described it to me, as when you're young, you hit a certain area, a base level of how you expect. I don't know if this is what you're referring to. How you are as a human, this is where you are on this base level. And relating it back to where I am at the moment with trying to figure out my purpose, trying to figure out what I'm going to do again, both for my own fulfillment, the self-worth piece, and financially.
Life.
I have ideas up here. My ideas are here, but my base level is here, and there's a huge conflict between those two things. And somehow you need to get from, I don't even know, like, I suppose you could look at it both ways, but the more positive way would be raising this side up or breaking out of this side, or you could bring that down to a level you understand. But no, on the positive, you need to get from this base level, and you need to crack that open and somehow move your entire belief system and your personality to match with these higher ideas.
Dreams, callings, whatever it is. Yes, thank you.
And it was really interesting how we looked at it that way. Like when you look at it, if you try and like put it down in a physical environment and see how this disconnect happens, and that this basically, you can be having ideas up here, and someone else who's on that level would totally know how to make that work. They might seem like, wow, that's a crazy dream, and someone will go, that's easy, it'll just come natural to them because they're up there. But for you, you're down here. So again, like I said, there's this huge conflict between having these dreams and ideas and telling yourself, well, that's unattainable, I can't do that, I don't know how to get there.
And bringing it back to cycles, the cycles of our thoughts, of our mind, of the belief system, of the ways in which we have been indoctrinated by life, school, families, past beliefs, everything else, all the things that we've taken on, those cycles that sort of keep us going in that loop. And then you've got well-meaning people saying, I wouldn't try that. Oh, if you just tried getting a job, oh, that's a bit scary, or whatever. Then all of that just keeps you in this bubble, box, whatever you want to call it, in this loop, in this cycle. And then to break out of that cycle and spiral, and I guess we're going up, if we're going by your, standards, we're going to spiral up to this. These are our dreams, these are our desires, these are our hopes. And I guess that's stuff that we have to allow ourselves to feel. And one other thing we talked about earlier that still feels like the same, it feels like the cycle, the loop, the I could just see it as a circle, is the emotional chart that we talked about that I showed you earlier. So there was this chart that I found that I've looked at over the last couple of years. I've worked with it, and it is the emotional states, and like talking about it as frequency, how to actually move them up, move up your emotional state to a higher frequency, to be able to feel peaceful and calm and happy and joy. And at the very, very bottom of this list is fear and grief,
Despair, I think, was the big
despair.
word on there.
Yeah. And we were saying about how we're cycling through them, because boredom was quite high up, really, and apathy and things, it was quite high. It was towards the top, where if you're moving through frequencies, you want to be.
Just to expand on that,
Yeah.
where you say cycling,
Yeah.
you're not always going bottom to top, back around,
Woo!
down again or whatever. I think one of the huge realizations that I had was that recently I've been at that bottom. I've been in despair, totally like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what am I doing this for? And then, like, literally, it could be like seconds later or an hour later, I'm one from the top at this passion.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be great.
I've got these amazing ideas. Let's do it. And then a few hours later, I'm back at the bottom again.
Yeah.
And it's so dysregulating to be bouncing between these two extremes. It's not comfortable.
No, it's not. And I think that's the mental health piece that we've been talking a lot about as well. The reason we went to Grounded for a catch up and a coffee, and potentially the reason why we're here talking now. We both struggled with our mental health, and I think that breaking those cycles of thoughts is a massive part of what I've been doing anyway, and what I'm talking to you about and sharing, as friends. And yeah, it's just one of the things that we've also talked about is the feeling that you've expressed recently, and I have definitely had, of sheer frustration around not being able to just be like everyone else. Seemingly, we understand it's not, but the ignorance is bliss. What would we give to literally be able to just simply go around, do the things, not worry, maybe get a job that we don't like, just do the stuff and plod along and be outraged at the people not putting their bins out right or whatever, any little thing, and just, live our lives like that. There's definitely times when you're in that fear, that grief, that despair, that you're like, why am I like this? Why can't I just get on?
Yeah.
It's not even be happy. It's just, why can't I just get on with it?
I think I said that the way people like us feel our emotions, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, I don't think probably everyone doesn't have the innate ability or something to really feel as deeply as others.
Yeah.
And that's amazing, because you can really get in touch with yourself and you can really drill down into it. But also at the same time, sometimes you're questioning why.
Yeah.
What's the point? Why can't I just go outside, talk about the weather, and get on with things?
Yes.
Like, be normal, like you said.
Yeah. And the false security that comes with that is insane. Like, you literally said about it, and I was like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be nice just to be able to have those mundane conversations in the shop? Oh yeah, it's cold today. Oh yeah. I can't, but there's part of me that wishes I could. There's part of me that wishes that I could just have those, base level.
We can break ice and we can talk to people like that.
Not for long.
We can, but also it's
soul destroying.
Yeah, there's no fulfillment in it for certain people, is there? It's kind of, what do they call it? Small talk.
Yeah.
I want to be clear, we're not trying to belittle anyone. If that's you, fine. There's kindness and there's grace.
Yeah.
And humility.
Yeah.
But
if it's all day, every day, we're not going to want to hang out.
We need something more fulfilling and a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a shame in that. And I believe that anyone, watching this, listening to this is going to be of the same mindset. They're going to want to know themselves deeper. They're going to want to know the universe deeper. Like, you are literally one of the only people I know that wants to know the ins and outs of a gnat's arse, everything. Like everything. Even me and Isla were joking about it yesterday, weren't we, when we were watching a movie, and every little thing that was popping up was like, oh, Google that. Oh, Google that. Oh, I'll find out about that. It was hilarious. Isla was literally just going, oh, for God's sake, why are you Googling it? Because you inherently want to know. You want to know things. And I think part of your frustration and the part in your cycle that you're at the moment is not being able to, like, cognitively understand how life can be the way it is, how people can act the way they can act. Like, it's just so foreign to you. And I think that potentially all of your life you have been trying to understand things that are ununderstandable.
I tried to put reason to everything.
Yeah. We talked a bit about acceptance, didn't we? And the nuance of the fact that you have to be able to accept things as they are, but not be completely dismissive. It's not the word, is it? What's the word? Apathetic? Just give up? Acceptance versus giving up was sort of something, wasn't it? That we were trying to differentiate between.
I'm trying to think of how you put it. Is it like you're talking about, like, trying to find, like, how did I say it? Like, accepting things the way they are.
Because you want to know everything, so you find it hard to accept if you don't know.
Yes.
But there are certain things that you're absolutely fine with, like conspiracy theories.
Yes.
You're like,
things that, okay, so
have no control over it.
I know where we're at now. It's things that, that don't literally affect you directly. Sometimes you can let go, or like knowing wouldn't make any difference anyway.
Yes.
That's the kind of thing I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So where can you start from to describe that again?
Can't remember what I asked now.
Can we have a replay, please?
If only we could. Acceptance versus the unacceptable. Oh, interesting choice of words there. Unacceptable behavior from people. Ooh, I like that. You feel that?
I'm totally in the other space where, like, whether it matters or not personally to you on a level, like, as to how much you need to know about it. Yeah, so I think the way I explained it for myself was trying to find that balance or that difference between not only something that matters to you and affects you personally, but also kind of the things that, whether you find out or not, doesn't make a difference. I think that's the way I kind of put it. I think things like conspiracy theories, for example, as fascinating as they can be, as crazy as they can be, knowing, for example, something serious,
if aliens are real,
if aliens are real, or moon landings, for example, like, we're never going to know that answer, and it is important. But I personally, I can sort of say, well, your belief is what makes either outcome real.
Okay,
that's actually quite profound.
I know. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Wow, we're
taking a little minute there.
Having some realizations, yeah. But does that affect me whether or not we did? Not really. So there's certain things I can accept, like, well, I'm never going to know the true answer. If it is a cover up, it's a cover up, whatever. But relating it back to real life, there are certain things where I feel that, like, I think you said it, the unacceptable thing. If you want to go into what you said.
I was speaking about, there's the acceptance of stuff. So, going through and realizing that you can't change people. So you accept it, and you either choose to let them be in your life as they are and just deal with that, versus the complete apathy and sort of, I still can't think how to say it, whatever that word is. But what came out when I was thinking about it was the unacceptable. And so it's almost, there's the acceptance of the situation, letting people be, and you find peace in that. Whereas if you're feeling like there are things that are unacceptable, like there's real fire in that, and you have definitely not let it go, right?
Strength of conviction.
Yeah. But you can feel that energy that's dislodging you, that trigger, that activation, that fire that's within. You're like, But what does that do? That holds you in that space. But then the nuance side of it, the blooming non-linear duality of the fact that both exist all at once, is that you have to find that peace within you, and maybe you will never know the answers, which is something you're saying you can get with certain areas, that you're proper chill and you're just like, yeah, whatever. But then there are some things that will really infuriate you and really make you frustrated because you don't understand, and I need to understand, and he gets this like thrown in his head and he wants to figure it out, and I find it so interesting to witness those two dual parts of your nature, and you said just then about the beliefs, it's only your beliefs that make it so, which was like, wow. And earlier on, we were saying, when we were at the coffee shop, you were talking, you were like, but how do you get from one to the other? How do you get from that other state, from breaking that cycle with all the, all the voices, everything else that then get internalized? Yay. The way you do that is changing those beliefs, is looking at your core beliefs, your values, what actually speaks to you inside. And I think that coming back to the fact that it's your 40th year or 41st year, I never quite understand how that works now. You're in your 41st year. Yes. It really baffles my brain.
I just had to do that maths in my head.
Yeah. So you're in your 41st year, and as a result of that and everything that's happened to you over the last sort of few weeks, all these beliefs are becoming so apparent, right? Like they're slamming into your awareness, and there's nothing you can do but to see them all as they are and feel everything that's going on. So it's almost this initiation that has come around as a result of where you're at physically, like what's actually happening physically, mentally, spiritually aligned with the cycles of midlife, and naturally things that come up. They say that if you look in psychology and things like that, and spiritually, there are different cycles, like the 7-year cycle, the 9-year cycle, there's midlife cycles, and from a female perspective, looking at our cycles of our menstrual cycles, and then they correlate to mother, maiden, crone, maiden, mother, crone, should I say. And so there's all these sort of initiations that we go through in life, and I really get a sense that you're going through a massive activation and initiation in your life, and now you get to choose what beliefs you run with. And it's hard, and it means that there's maybe counseling needed, there is holding yourself through all the things that are happening in your life and going through. There's being vulnerable, asking for support, there's reaching out to people. There's so many elements in ways in which you are changing your inherent belief system, I think.
I think as well, the way you mentioned cycles, and I was just having a quick think back to a big shift in the past, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to align with it, but it's funny how it does.
If you reflect on things, it often will.
But 7 years ago, in 2018, was when I came out of employment. I came out of full-time employment because I went through what I like to say was my second nervous breakdown.
Woohoo!
How old would I have been? 33.
Yeah.
And basically, I just knew. I'd switched jobs in December 17, and within weeks, I knew I'd made a mistake. And by August 2018, I was done. I was out. I was out, and I made that decision right then. I remember because I actually I let them fire me. I let them fire me in the end. And they warned me. They said, if we fire you, you might find it difficult to find employment in the future.
Okay.
And I went, I don't intend to be employed.
Yeah.
At least not anytime soon enough to have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Is that question? Is there any gaps in your employment? I'm like, yes, quite a large one actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a huge shift. And that was where I chose my own beliefs as well. It's funny when you refer back to it. And I just want to make a point as well that this happens all the time, like to everyone around you all the time, whether they're conscious of it. It doesn't matter. It happens. People go through all sorts of trauma, deaths, divorces, like kids growing up, certain issues with any. It could be anything. Work, like or life.
Yeah.
Life. Everyone has.
Change.
Everyone has these moments which force change.
Yeah.
And you see it all around you all the time as well. How do you think these like Tidy Butt? Clearly, like someone didn't just wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm just going to make a charity.
Yeah.
Like there's a process to that, and it's one of those things. I think people who are entrepreneurs and things like that, especially, you make these decisions to try and do something for themselves and forge their own path.
Yeah.
I think usually that is the result of some huge shift in their sense of what they believe they deserve and what is right and what is just at that time in their life for them.
Yeah.
So this isn't unusual. This isn't some magic thing that we're talking about. It's real life, and it happens to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely does. One of the things that I think makes us different is that you would probably consider me incredibly spiritual, and that I look at everything through a lens of spirituality as well as psychology and just generally. And you would consider yourself more maybe down to earth. Like you've got a little bit of respect for it. You get it. You're a little bit interested, but you don't live it.
I love the magic.
Yeah.
And I think it 100% that kind of magic and faith is really important. I think faith and hope is incredibly important.
Yeah. The language you're using then, I just wanted to reflect back, was really beautiful, like beautiful language. And I could hear in my mind my sort of spiritual words that I would use to describe exactly the same thing. So you're talking about, grief and death and trauma as ways that literally force you into these new situations, and I would call it initiations and cycles and things that again force you into that change cycle, into making a change, whether we want to or not, whether it's something that is literally we've made the choice to go, you know what, enough is enough, like when you were in school and you decided that was enough, I'm not dealing with these assholes anymore, I'm out, and you chose yourself. And then the same with employment, you were like, you know what, you still chose to let them fire you and go, yeah, cool, no probs, and you've been all right, like you've been okay for the last 6 years, you've survived, absolutely. Maybe it's not thriving yet, but hey, there are those initiations, those lessons in my world that I believe in, that we're going through. And yeah, I think that is ultimately what this is, and I feel like the thread that is trying to come out here. I often, if I'm doing a vlog or a podcast or anything, I will just talk and just see what comes out, right? Just start riffing and just see how it goes and just see it unfold. Whereas I think Tom's definitely in his masculine, that would probably be like, right, what are we talking about? We've got a plan, we've got some bullet points, we've got some ideas. I'm definitely more in my feminine flow of this and just seeing what comes out and wing it all together in the end. And that to me is the, just reflecting back, that's that thread, that is the change, acceptance of things. What is it? It's like AA, isn't it? It's like things to accept. Was it change and courage to accept the things you cannot change, or whatever it is? So it,
the great. No, what is it? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Maybe we could put it at the bottom.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But yeah, their change. I've always had the belief in the saying of change is the only constant. Like the reason that my podcast used to be the Inconsistency Club, because I was like, well, life is inconsistent. You're telling us to be consistent with our showing up on social media. You must be consistent to help the algorithm and blah, blah, blah. Want to maintain a job, you've got to be consistent and turn up. I'm like, no, life isn't consistent. It's fine. Change is the only constant. We are always changing. We're always growing, but we are always terrified of change, because from those states, from this box, from being here, to change and to come into this, like living your dream, desires and everything else, is so hard. Like, it's not easy. You have to confront so much to be able to allow the change in. And I'm also reminded of the fact that if we do not make that change ourselves, if there's stuff inside us happening and we're people pleasing and we're not listening to ourselves and we're going, no, it's okay, like, just putting ourselves down and not doing what our soul knows it needs us to do, something will come along and force the change. They say that if you don't like where you are, move, you're not a tree. Fine. I've always caveated it and added onto, and if you don't move, a storm will come along and uproot that tree and move it. Seriously, like, if you're having to move, if part of your lesson, your soul calling and your desire in life is to achieve something, and you came here to do it, you chose to come and have a human experience, as my beliefs. And so then to be empowered and actually choose that life for ourselves and do what we can to get there, doing the belief work and everything else, then yeah, we're going to have to make those steps, take that leap, jump off the bridge, not knowing whether our parachute's going to work or not. Take the leap like you would have to be self-employed for all those years. Again, you maybe haven't been thriving all the time, but in everything you do, you take massive risks that so many people are unable to do. And so they might have their job taken off them, their husband or wife leaves or whatever, because they won't make that change. So it's all about empowering yourself to do it and not holding on to that comfort zone, that whatever everyone else is saying about whatever is happening. And yeah, I kind of just feel called to reflect back to you how much you do make that choice, choose change, choose to be different, and this is just the next layer of that spiral.
If people can look back at their own lives as well, and I think if they don't think too hard about it, they'll notice those times that they've done, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. I mentioned earlier the fear of changing jobs back in 2008, and it's crazy because I was working in a retail job, and by the end of it, I hated it. So I went for something completely different. I ended up working as a civil servant in an office. And within those first 2 weeks, I was mentally exhausted and I was screaming out for someone to save me and take me back to my old job.
Yeah.
And
I want my comfort zone.
I hated
Send me
it.
back.
I hated my old job. And pushing through that was really, I remember it being really hard.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do this. I need to leave. And honestly, I think sometimes if I hadn't had the support and the colleagues that were around at the time, if things had gone slightly differently, it may have ended differently early on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up staying in that job for 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel that you proved to yourself that you could do it? I could never have an office job or whatever. I could only do this.
Yeah. And the funny thing, again, referring back to change, was that in a corporate environment, especially government run, change is constant. Again, like you said, the only thing constant is change. It was all the time, whether that was taking on new responsibilities or flexible hours changing or work changes, like certain things in my role. It was all IT based, computer based, phoning companies and things. And every single time anything came up, they put a survey out every year, like an intranet survey. What can we do to make your life better?
Yeah.
And all anyone ever wanted to say was, give us more money.
Nice.
That was it.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants more money. We're doing more work.
Yeah.
And they would come back with their corporate answers and thing, and then they change something. Yeah. And the pushback every single time because
wasn't actually what they wanted.
Yeah,
it
wasn't what they asked for.
The systems. Yeah. Just pay us for what we're doing. We'll be happy.
And they change it, and whether that was good or not is irrelevant. Every single thing, and you can't please all the people all the time.
No.
So there's always this fear of change. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's good for you, bad for you. Change is scary, and trying to learn to accept it and see it for what it is without fear, I think is hard.
Yeah. Incredibly.
Let us know if you figured it out, because it'd be fascinating to hear perspectives on it.
Yeah. I think the only thing that was coming to my mind then as well is about how being in that scenario with work and being in a high pressure environment where things are changing all the time, you've got to be on it, you've got to be constant. That sort of like chaos and change is quite hard, and I was wondering how you would even manage to feel safe, secure, peace, calm. Like it's a very naturally. It's reminding me of the fact that you and me are very similar, as many others will be too. Around, we've got a deadline. We're going to do it about 5 minutes before the end, and we're going to smash it out of the park. It's going to be done. But because we literally are so used to only functioning with that chaos deadline. I believe that our money stuff, we've definitely got similar money stories, Taurus North Node. And there are times when that cycle of the money, of having the money, don't have the money, have the money, don't have the money, is hello, darling, sorry, my babies, is so detrimental to our mental health, but it's literally our comfort zone. How ridiculous that this chaotic feeling, this absolute scarcity and lack and cycle of abundance and lack is actually just what our body is used to and what it feels safe with. And it kind of leads on to saying about how we can stay in these situations and these jobs that we don't like, these relationships we don't like, just simply because our nervous system and our inner beliefs and our body and our comfort zone is that chaos. That's all we know. I just know chaos. If I was actually in a safe, secure, chilled out environment, relationship, place, my body would feel unsafe. It would actually feel unsafe to be safe. How ridiculous is that?
I still don't know, and I'm hoping it's not
that.
I don't know how I'm going to get there, but there is a huge thing for me at the moment that this change is going to be quite dramatic. To some degree, and that I am not going to be lacking financially anymore. And I would like to think that if I found a fulfilling way to create a few £1 million, that I would be quite happy with that.
And you wouldn't fuck it all up the wall through some insecure belief.
Isn't that scary
as well? To a really deep internal belief of not good enough. And they say about lottery winners, don't they, that actually whatever the statistic is, it's very high that they end up with absolutely nothing again afterwards if you've come from nothing, because you haven't done the work to calibrate yourself to get from one extreme to the other. If you rocket too quickly up the sort of spectrum, the belief system, from one reality to another, then quite literally you can just sabotage it. And that is something that I said to you earlier about the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Is a great book. I probably listened to it about 10 years ago. I've got it on the bookshelf somewhere. Really, really, really good book. And the first foray that I had into self-development work, the idea being talking about subconscious self-sabotage and the way that we do these things. And one of the examples he says about is literally like having a car crash as a way of subconsciously self-sabotaging your experience or whatever. And how often have you found that you get a lump of money in and then a bill comes up out of nowhere? Or like, oh, now I've got to fix my car. Or, oh no, the gas bill's just come through and it's this much. Like, all of these things are energetic, subconscious reactions to fearing that change and not believing we're worthy of XYZ. We're talking about money right now, but it's the same with love, finding a loving relationship and then going like picking a fight or sacking it off or something, because you inherently believe subconsciously that you're not worth it.
I mean, as soon as you said that money thing, like my brain immediately connected and went, yeah, absolutely, every single time.
Yes.
And the first example that comes to mind was back in March. I came back from Australia for 10 weeks. And within those 10 weeks, I'd made nearly £2,000, just thanks to friends and stuff offering me work. I worked for it. well, say 1,500, something like that. And I thought, oh, this is really good. If I go back, I've got money to go back with. And what happens? £1,000 van bill out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Straight away. And I thought, I've literally just come back. I've only been in the van for a week.
Yeah. And something went wrong.
And something went wrong with it
Yeah.
immediately. It hadn't been driven for 12 months.
Yeah.
Incredible. So you will tie on whether or not that's a that's a thing, but it very much feels like it to me.
Yeah, it is a thing. We'll listen to the book and maybe we can do something else about it as well. Again, we've just gone off on so many tangents. Definitely undiagnosed ADHD over here. So yeah, thanks for that. So is there anything I want to speak to before we end? Is there anything that you want to bring to the table before we leave? Any way in which you feel that we can tie in all the pieces?
That's what I'm trying to think about now. How are we tying this up?
Self-worth.
Yeah, that's what we started
Cycles.
with, wasn't it? Self-worth, value, fulfillment.
Initiations and cycles and going through things, change being the only constant. I think there is a thread. There's a thread that's come through really beautifully.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to tie it up, in this instance, just off the top of my head, is that everyone goes through all this stuff. Like, this is normal. It's normal. And I think it's important that you connect a spirituality to a psychology kind of thing, in the way that I do, and the way that we do. And I think you need to be, on both sides, you need to be open to understanding each other's way of thinking on that. Because we can't all just be positive all the time. We cannot just have toxic positivity. We're like, if I believe, things will be better. You have to take action.
Don't even get me started on that topic.
That's an entire other conversation.
That is another conversation. We will definitely talk about that, because that's something.
Faith alone is not enough. If you believe in yourself, that means you believe you have the ability to force change or to make change. It doesn't mean just sitting down doing nothing and expecting the world to bend around you. Another day. But yeah, my only closing thought is that I think I'm navigating a journey that, obviously loads of people have gone through and loads of people will continue to go through and are going through at the moment. And I think as long as we stay open to, on our level, as people who want to learn about ourselves and be open to emotion, and open to know. And Jen said, know thyself. Maybe that's what this is all about. Being open to learning more about yourself and just talking about it sometimes. I want to say do the work, but I don't want to make it sound like work. It is work. It is effort. It's a conscious effort. But when I think of work, I'm very averse to what work means to me.
So we'll watch our language with that.
So it's just finding that right language that you can get on board with, and making change for yourself and believing in yourself. Getting there and figuring it out wholeheartedly. And I don't think you can do it on your own.
No,
I really don't. I don't think you can do this on your own. You can read as many books as you want, but I think you need people around you as well.
You need support. We all do. It's basic human nature.
Some of you might be averse to people, and you might be quite introvert, and you might not want to do that. And
or maybe haven't got people around you that are actually healthy people that you can talk to.
And trying to come to terms that's another battle again. That's another part of the puzzle. But don't forget that if you are feeling like you want to speak to someone or ask for support is out there, no matter whatever it is. Support is out there. It's 100%, and it's probably this piece of seeing it more because I need it. But it feels like there's a lot more going on.
There is. Over the years, there's definitely more support
like it. Like even Tidy But. It's brand new. It launched in June. Like just in time for there's a new one coming to Cambran now for men. Andy's Men's Room. It's UK wide, but it's come to literally my local village. And I'm like, wow, it's all showing up. So it is out there.
And for men's mental health, I'm a massive advocate as well.
So if you really want me to speak spiritual language, the change you all keep mentioning is actually happening. I can feel it.
Yay!
The world is changing. I can feel it happening. I can ground that in what I believe in, and you can ground that in what you believe in. But it is happening.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Tom. Thank you for being here today and the last 3 days. It's been amazing, and thank you for your setup and your help with all the magic. And yeah, looking forward to continuing on in the knowing ourselves camp that we're in, and yeah, just sharing in our, respective places. Where can people find you at the moment?
If you want to follow along, you can follow me at Dragonstone Bakes, which is the bakery Welsh cake business that I had in Australia, which is still alive but in a very different form at the moment.
It's under change, right?
Yeah, it's under change. I'm trying something new. There's a part of me tugging me back to what it was, but logistically, that needs to be decided upon. So yeah, if you want to give me a follow, Dragonstone Bakes on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as well. You'll find me. It's the one that looks like me.
There we go. So yeah, thank you very much for being here, for sitting here with us. I would love to know if any of this spoke to you, if there is any part that activated or triggered or traumatized, if that's your language. We don't want to say traumatized, but if anything was resonates for you, I would love to hear it. And yeah, if you've got any other thoughts of conversations I could have, topics, if anyone, I've actually got in the pipeline a couple of other people that I want to sit and talk with soon, so looking forward to doing them. And yeah, if you've got any other thoughts, I'd love to hear them. And life is hard at times, but it is also pretty magical at times too. So no, we're not just positive, we're not just toxic positivitying all over everything, not at all. And that is definitely a conversation that me and Tom can have another time. But I really also believe that despite everything that I've been through, and I've had a pretty rough couple of years, like really has been right at the bottom of that emotional chart myself. And the only way that I have got out of it is to feel my feelings, to honor myself and everything that I'm experiencing at any given moment, trying not to judge it, which is incredibly hard, and then to find those little nuggets of joy in the in-betweens. In between all of that darkness and everything going on, if you can just find that one little piece of light, whether it's talking to a friend, whether it's having a cuddle, whether it's, getting out in nature for a walk, listening to music, having a dance, whatever it is, like if you can just do one thing every day to pull yourself out of that dark, desperate place, even if it's only for 5 minutes, then you're doing bloody brilliant, really. So yeah, just hand on heart, without hitting the mic, hand on heart, and yeah, sending loads of love to everyone, especially those that are going through it. Big love, and thank you again.
Oh my God, hang on. That literally just ended somewhere.
Don't worry, I was looking at the other
honestly,
camera.
That is crazy. Let me just check that.
Let's turn this one off anyway.